This lecture is about the common lesions of the knee joint. So first one is the ligamentous injuries. Starting with the onset, if forces are on the knee, which include the valgus stress, external rotation of a tibia on the femur, and the interior movement of the tibia on the femur. With sufficient force, medial capsule is torn first, followed by the MCL, then ACL, and the medial meniscus is torn as well. A force against the interior thigh, which drives the femur backward on the tibia, while the knee is close to full extension, tend to stress the ACL ligament. If force internal rotation of a tibia on the femur, this may tear the ACL, and if force driving the tibia backward on the femur will stress the PCL, whether the knee is flexed or not. Example of such injury will be the dashboard injury. In case of force driving the knee into hyperextension, posterior capsule tends to give way first, then the ACL, which will be followed by then the PCL. Next is the site of pain. So the patient usually point out to a localized area that corresponds well to the site of a tear as being primary site of pain. The exception is an isolated ACL tear, which is rare and may result in more generalized discomfort. So, in case of effusion, especially the hemarthrosis, the entire knee is likely to be painful and the patient is less able to localize the site of injury. In severe injuries involving several structure, localization is less likely because of generalized pain. So the knee is innervated by the L3 segment and also receive contributions from the L4 to S2. So refer pain into this segment is possible, although this does not seem to be occur as frequently with the acute ligamentous lesions as it does occur with the chronic and the degenerative problems. Next is the nature of pain and disability. So, in the absence of a significant effusion, the pain is described as a continuous, deep, fairly localized pain which is increased by any movement tending to further stress the ligament. When effusion exists, a more intense, aching, throbbing type of pain and which is aggravated by the weight bearing and virtually any movement. So, hemarthrosis, as a rule, will be more painful than the synovial effusion. If a moderately to severe tear or a complete rupture is left to heal, the pain will largely subside. The patient can walk quite comfortably but cannot perform some particular activities such as running, jumping, cutting, walking down the stairs, squatting. If there is inability to turn quickly, MCL or the LCL will be ruptured. If there is inability to run forward, it may lead to ACL. If there is inability to descend stairs easily, squat, or run backward, which may point out towards the PCL or the posterior capsule. Next is the physical examination. So, in physical examination, the first one is the acute lesion with effusion. So, observation, the patient may hobble into the office like it may use the crutches, the knee is held slightly flexed, and only toe touch weight bearing can be seen. The shoe, sock, and trousers are removed with difficulty. Inspection, joint effusion is obvious, especially in the suprapatellar region. The patient stands with the leg held in a semi flex, often unable to place the heel on the floor. Next is the active movement. So, weight bearing, flexion, and extension is impossible. In the supine position, active movement is limited in a capsular pattern because of joint effusion, with pain especially at the extremes of both motions. So, passive overpressure is met with a muscle spasm and feel. Next is a passive movement. So flexion extension is limited in a capsular pattern with no capitals and a muscle spasm and feel. Moving towards the acute lesion without effusion. So some effusion allow most of the ligamentous injuries at the knee, but the absence of a significant effusion does not necessarily mean that the injury is mild. In the absence of effusion, the patient presents with a less of a gait disturbance. The knee is not mentioned in much of flexion, and patient is able to walk without the aids. Also, available range of motion is greater. The next is the chronic ligament ruptures. The primary complaint of such patient is a function instability or giving way of the knee with the particular activities. Patient may walk without the limb or the obvious instability. So the only significant findings may be difficulty in running, turning sharply, squatting, descending stairs, or running backward. Quadricep muscle atrophy, especially if the joint is swollen or immobilized, and hypermobility on one or more joint plane movements. Next is our management. So, the approach to the management of ligamentous injuries depends on several factors, including the patient's age and desired activity level and the nature of pathological process. It is important to determine the severity of the injury, whether the lesion is acute or chronic. So, grade 1, mild sprain with no gross loss of integrity of the ligament fibers and no joint hypermobility. Next is the grade 2, presents with a moderate tear with a partial loss of integrity of the ligament and a mild joint play instability. Grade 3, there will be severe tear or a complete rupture of a ligament and moderate to marked joint play movement hypermobility. In acute lesion, the patient cannot bear the weight without pain and a significant loss of a knee motion with a painful muscle spasm and feel, and there is a swelling or the effusion present. In chronic lesion, the patient can walk with a minimal pain and without a significant limb, but the range of motion is free, little, or with no swelling. If there is a grade 1 and 2 sprain, so the medial lesion care must be taken to avoid the valgus stress, and for lateral lesions, varus stress should be avoided. So friction massage at the site of lesion applied transversely to direction of ligament fibers with the knee in different degree of flexion and extension may help to prevent the healing ligament from adhering to adjacent tissues and may help produce collagen along the normal line of stress. If there is an MCL tear and a grade 3 sprain, so it does not usually require surgical repair. Injury can be protected with the bracing. So, three conditions must be met for healing to occur at the MCL ligament. Ligament fibers must remain in a continuity or within well vascularized tissue bed, and inner stress to stimulate healing process and a protection from the harmful stresses are required. If there is an ACL tear in a grade 3 sprain, in which there is a hypermobility present, to occur as a result of a direct blow to the knee with the foot planted. So they are the result of a non-contact twisting injury which is associated with a hyperextension or a varus and a valgus stresses at the knee. After the control of a swelling and a pain, begin with the isometrics. So isometrics of a hamstring and a quadriceps to encourage the contraction. Isometric of internal and as well as the external rotation exercises when the patient has achieved 90 degree of flexion. Functional knee braces have been suggested for the permanent use in sports activities and avoid terminal knee extension and emphasize hamstring strengthening to provide the active stabilization. So here the hamstring strengthening is half the importance. Advanced phase of treatment features eccentric quadricep exercises. Next is a PCL tear in a grade 3 sprain. Isolated tears are not common with the PCL tear. It is injured with the ACL or MCL and the LCL or the menisci. Most of the injury to the PCL results from the direct blow to the flex knee. And hyperflexion and hyperextension injuries can also occur, can also cause the PCL rupture. So no isolated hamstring exercises are performed during the first to 6 to 8 weeks of the tear. Then closed chain exercises are emphasized, which allow the hamstring strengthening but protect against the posterior tibial translation. So avoid the posterior tibial translation. And then perform the eccentric quadricep exercises, which are started soon as the patient can tolerate them. Training should consist of a balance and proprioception activities, functional development of feet to grasp the ground, stabilization of a stance phase, and improvement of reactions to sudden forces applied by the examiner. Next is the LCL tear in a great hip pain. So isolated injury to the PCL is rare, and when it does occur, it is critical to rule out other ligamentous injuries like ACL, MCL, and a PCL. Athletes or other person placing unusual demand on a functional capacity of a knee must undergo a more rigorous training program. So, isokinetic exercise equipment with a variable speed adjustment is a convenient means of providing a high speed resistance to the various muscle groups. Such exercises result in a strengthening and also optimize the training effect of exercise program. Activities are gradually progressed from straight ahead jogging to the running and then running with the gentle turns and finally running with the abrupt stops and the turns gradually make the activity more complex for the LCLTF patients.